Personally, I never thought I would get the virus, being that like my mom never got it, my sister never got it. Like I'm like I'm not gonna get the virus because I'm like covered under the blood of Jesus, right? But I mean, I ended up getting the virus due to me being stubborn and due to me wanting to go to the Nissan dealership to fix my car. I ended up getting the virus that very moment. I mean, I could walk you through it because I know the person who gave it to me because it hit me like this within seconds. It hit me. So I'm waiting for my car to come out, and the guy said wait in the waiting room. So I'm waiting in the waiting room, and this old head came up to me. We just talking about life, and he's talking about politics, and he's talking about the COVID and stuff like that. Mind you, he has his mask on. I have my mask on, and we're decent. We're 6 feet apart and stuff like that. And he's talking to me. I'm talking for a good 20 minutes. We talking, and then my car was ready. So I said later to him, and as soon as I got into my car and drove off, I pulled over. I called my mom. I'm like, whoa, I don't feel too well. Like I'm like it just hit me. Like I just felt. I started to feel nauseous, and I started to feel a lot of pain in my. I started to get a headache. At that same moment, I got a headache, a bad headache. Like I just didn't feel well. So that's when I knew like, hey, I got something. But I think is I was being stubborn to the point where like I didn't want to believe it was COVID. I told myself it was a sinus infection. That night I went home. I had a fever, and then after the morning, the next morning I just had pain in my face. So I'm thinking, yeah, I got a small sinus infection. It's gonna go away. So I never got tested for COVID, but I had COVID, but I never got tested for COVID. Um, I realized I had COVID when I did my physical in July, and they told me like, "Hey, you have strands of the COVID in your bloodstream." I'm like, "What?" I mean, in March I had COVID then, and it shocked me, but because I was just being stubborn, and due to my I would say, I mean, due to me being stubborn, I caused others to get COVID. So my dad did pass away and due to the COVID virus. And it was really hard for our family to take because his birthday just passed. And one thing he told me and my brother on his birthday is that, yeah, um, he's 64, he's going on strong. And with less than a month, he passed away without, I mean, it was just really hard for us to take. He got COVID after when I got better. He got COVID. Um, as soon as I got better, he got COVID, and he's living in the same house we're living in, and our apartment is really small. And when I was sick, I couldn't quarantine because you have to. If he wants to go to the bathroom, he has to walk through my room to go to the bathroom or to the kitchen. Like it's like one straight hallway. So there was no way for me to even quarantine. And then on top of that, I never got tested. I told myself it was a sinus infection. My mom was doing her best to treat me and stuff like that. But I mean, within 3 days it went away. But then as soon as it went away, my dad came down with pain and stuff like that. He started to feel weird, and since that day, he's just been in the bed. And my dad, he was really, you could say, stubborn. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want. He just said he wanted to get better. So he stayed inside and he just laid in the bed all day. And like it got to the point where it started to get really bad. And where to the point where he started to lose a lot of weight, like drastically. Like one week he's 190, and next week he's like 130, and it was scary at the point. Like it just like bones. And one morning I went to work, and so I worked at FedEx during the time, and I went to work, and I was coming back home around like 9 o'clock in the morning, and my younger sister called me. She was like, Marcus, yeah, dad is not responsive. He's not, we have to bring him somewhere now. And mind you, my mom, over the course of weeks, been trying to get him to go to the hospital, trying to get him, but he's like, no one's going to take me out of this house and stuff like that. Because he believed he would get better, but it started to get worse to the point where he wasn't eating, he wasn't talking, he wasn't responsive. And so my sister called me, and I rushed home, and I got home, and I got him ready. That was hard, just to even get him ready, because he could barely stand. He was stumbling, and got him ready, brought him to the hospital, and or brought him to the clinic that was close. I couldn't bring him to the hospital. It was a clinic that's down the block. Brought him there, and they told me that he was like going into a diabetic shock. So thing is, I never knew. No one in our family even knew that he had diabetes. And COVID, when it comes to COVID now, it talks about people with who's diabetic are more likely to get COVID, and this is why it hit him so hard. And from there, he went to the hospital. I think he went to St. Mary's Hospital, or no, Interface Hospital, and New York was crazy at this time. And as soon as we admitted him into the hospital, we never seen him again.